We have a Matt Painter tangent, Dion, and I'm going to play a clip of this. This is courtesy of Fox Sports after Purdue's win over Rutgers. Matt Painter was asked about basically player retention, and Rutgers this year is playing a lot of freshmen. So specifically, I think this was kind of teed up of like, hey, is this going to benefit Rutgers in the long run to get these freshmen on the court? Matt Painter had some very pointed thoughts. I'm going to play the clip.
Rutgers played six freshmen, and they were out there a lot of the second half. In a sport that's gotten pretty old, what do you think about what they're trying to do with this young dude?
Yeah, it works if you can keep them, right? It works if you can keep them. If you can't keep them, who cares, right? Because if you can only keep a guy and you're like, hey, man, he's going to be pretty good. Well, he's going to be pretty good for Rutgers then, right? Now he becomes a sophomore. But if he leaves, like that's the dilemma of, why the rule stinks. Because that's, if you can get them, man, you can't grow them if you can't keep them. Like that's just the nature of development. And then flip on, you guys talked about, some of the shortcomings we've had, but like, think about the experiences that Fletcher Lawyer, Braden Smith, Drake Hoffman, Wren have had. Well, they've been freshmen in this building. They've been sophomores in this building. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like we're at an advantage. We have corporate DNA. Like we have guys that they can coach our team. They coach our team. Like, that's what you want. Like, you empower people that stay in your program, that grow, and you go look at this program and you go look at Caleb McConnell and you go look at dudes like that. That's what this program's about. That tough, gritty, but it's growing. Like you see how Caleb was as a freshman, and you see him as a sophomore, you see him as a junior, and you see him as a senior. Like that's the epitome of development. But it's not just a Rutgers issue. It's a college basketball issue.
I'm gonna stop that there. You're laughing because you have just listened to the corporate DNA quote that you and Carter made a video on yesterday without even listening to it. So this is now a second opportunity for you after listening to the actual quote to maybe share some thoughts. But I'm also interested in the first half of this quote more than the corporate DNA part at this point. Uh, almost like felt almost like threatening, like Walter White, I am the one who knocks words from Painter here of like, yeah, it's great if you can keep them. If you can't keep them, who cares? Fascinating stuff. Your thoughts?
Oh, that was so funny.
Why was it funny, Dion?
Because Card and I, we thought corporate DNA was business as usual performances against bad teams, not keeping freshmen. And the whole process of the transfer portal and roster building, we thought it was you played a bad Rutgers team, so we had corporate DNA because we won.
Yeah, the lesson learned. Maybe watch the clips. Maybe we're gonna blame this up to Cart being sick and still running point while I was sick. But next time, let's watch the clips. Thank you. Moving on.
I am thankful Cart was on that video with me because that's part of the only reason we got away with it. That's just Cart being Cart, and we could just blame it on that, and we're all good. But I think he's right. I mean, what was his quote? He said, "Well, now you're sophomores at Rutgers or something like that, and you have to have that development along with sticking around and so on and so forth." It's not just about having freshmen; it's about the process of freshmen becoming seniors. And that's, I believe, the lens he was looking through with the corporate DNA aspect of it. Um, I'll tell you what, has six freshmen. That's what he said, right?
I'm looking through the box score of who played in this game. They played six freshmen off the bench.
Okay. So going from Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper to these six freshmen has to be that has to be a much different situation for Rutgers. But yeah, I mean, I think Paint's right. Like you can keep TK, you can keep Flesh, you can keep Braden, or you can get them all as freshmen, but you have to keep them for the following 4 years, and you have to have the development that they've shown over the course of those 4 years too. You know that there was ways you could beat those three as freshmen, as sophomores, as juniors, even that you can't as seniors. I mean, just look at the way TK's rebounding at this point. Fletch is shooting at 50% on eight threes a game.
Yeah,
He's always been a great shooter. That's otherworldly stuff.
yeah, yeah. It is. Okay. So I like paint. I like honest paint. I love transparent paint, and he just tells it how it is. He never really has agendas or anything. It's just him speaking on behalf of the sport, and I think this is paint. I kind of tee this up as like it almost felt threatening. I think that's just because it's honest of the situation. Like Rutgers is not going to keep these players.
Yeah.
It's Rutgers. And I think Payne is almost bemoaning the state of the sport and the rule, knowing that it puts schools like Rutgers in a terrible spot.
Mhm.
Like if you get a freshman that's good at Rutgers, they leave for the draft. If you get a freshman that looks promising in year two, they go somewhere better than Rutgers. And I think he's right. Like, all those 6 freshmen are all coming off the bench right now. Honestly, Haroon Zerno had 13 points in this game. Outside of that, like, there's nothing to really write home about. Dylan Grant's a sophomore. He's following this trajectory from freshman to sophomore year. He's gotten a lot better. And my guess would be Dylan Grant transfers at some point. Like that's just kind of the state of the game. And is it good for Rutgers? Of course not. Is it good for the players? Is it good for the game? I don't know. That's a different conversation. But I think Payne answered this very honestly in the moment of just being like, hey, is this going to mean good things for Rutgers in the future? He's like, probably not. Probably not, because good luck keeping those guys. The one distinction I would like to make very clearly when he pivoted into like, well, yeah, you look at us, you know, Braden and Fletcher played here as freshmen, and look at them now. Like, okay, that's great. Yes. Uh Haroon Zerno and Chris Nwoli and Lino Mark and Caden Powers and Javante Ware and Dennis Badalau could stay in college until they're 30. They will never be Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer and Trey Kaufman-Renn. This isn't just about retaining players. You also need special players. And as much as TKR and Fletcher and Braden have gotten better, TKR redshirted. Braden and Fletcher came in as true freshmen, played 25 minutes a game on the number 1 overall seed in the sport. Have they gotten better? Of course they've gotten better. Is Purdue where they're at because they retained them? Yes, of course. But those were also just special players. And Rutgers has had 2 special players in 5 years, and both of them are in the NBA right now.
Yeah, Haroon Zuno, 6'7" though, like 6'7", 6'7" freshman, point guard. Uh, I could be convinced he's Luca. So like any 6'7" point guard, like it doesn't take much for me to be convinced he's the next Luca. So hold on to him, Peichel. But I will say this: to Payne's point, Haroon Zuno plays well. You're a 6'7" point guard. Congrats on making the NBA. Like you will not be, he won't be at Rutgers for very long if he plays well. So I don't know. It's a tough spot. It's a tough spot the sport's in. The college landscape as a whole, I think, has some stuff to figure out. Whether it's football, basketball, no matter what, I think both sports have some things to figure out in terms of like the calendar and the rule sets and how they're going to approach the NIL era.
I think you're very right on that. I think you're very, very right on that. Does this quote resonate with anyone in his locker room right now? Because he lost a couple transfers. Miles
Yeah,
Coleman's playing well at Wake Forest right now. Cam Heidi's had good games at Texas right now. There's a log jam at a couple positions on this team right now. Does this resonate, you think, with any of his current players?
Cam Heidi's got bunnies, by the way. Big Cam Heidi guy now. Uh, the only one I could see it resonating with is one of the two of Jakari and CJ.
I mean, this is something that probably should weigh on everyone's mind at all times, right? Is in order to get the benefits of guys getting better, you got to keep them.
Yeah.
What are you doing to keep your guys? I mean, right now, CJ and Jakari have been given big roles, even though there's really only room for one of them on this team. And they're still finding a way to make it work. So I don't know. I find it interesting. Like player retention is affecting everybody, even the schools that are really good at it. Purdue's amazing at it, and they still lost 2 key pieces from last year. So, no, interesting point in time.